Have you ever felt trapped by alcohol? Almost like you're locked up in some weird, sick, twisted prison, but a prison where there's no escape. Well, I've certainly felt this way. In fact, I felt this way for the best part of 10 years. When I was drinking alcohol, I felt like I was behind these steel bars. I could see freedom, I could see it, I could almost taste it, but these bars were in the way. But 6 years ago, I was able to free myself from this prison, and I've never looked back. But this video is going to be like a key, because I'm going to show you how you can set yourself free from this prison for the rest of your life. That means there'll be no more fighting, no more struggling, no more cravings. If you watch this video in full, you understand it, and you apply it, it will change the way that you view alcohol forever. Because I want you to get into a state of mind where you don't want to drink. So this video is that key. And right now, I do have spots available in the Sober Clear program. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'll tell you more information on how you can apply to join that. But this is where we work with you directly, and it's where we help you go from struggling to stop drinking to feeling this effortless control. So make sure to stick around to the very end of the video to hear the announcement on that. And now let's get into things. See, when I was drinking alcohol, I often had this desire to change. I wanted to change really early on, but every time that I wanted to change, the cycle was always the same. Something bad would happen, the desire to change would increase, I'd want to stop drinking, I'd want to change my relationship with alcohol, and I might get a bit of momentum. I might stop for a few days, a few weeks, a few months. But it was almost like I was on day release from a jail, where I was allowed to go out for a few days, a few weeks, but something would always just pull me back. So whilst I wanted to change, I always felt trapped. So let's look at why alcohol is holding you prisoner. Because if you're anything like me, you probably feel the same way. You probably feel trapped. Well, the reason why you feel trapped boils down to two things. The first reason why you feel trapped by alcohol is down to your perception of the drug. See, if I was to tell you tomorrow that you are never going to be able to drink bleach ever again in your life, what would you feel? Well, you'd probably think I'm weird, number one, but you wouldn't feel anything. You'd just be like, okay. But what if I told you that you could never drink alcohol again ever in your life? What's your reaction to that idea? Well, maybe there's an element of relief, but probably not. There's probably an element of, I don't know if I'm ready for that. There's an element of fear. There's an element of, wow, I'm actually going to have to sacrifice something that I like. Bleach, you don't like, you'd have no problem with that. But alcohol is different. You perceive a benefit to drinking alcohol. So if I were to tell you that you could never drink it again, you would feel like almost like you're breaking up with somebody that you truly love. And you've got belief systems around alcohol. There are certain things that you believe that are keeping you trapped. But for 99% of drinkers, these beliefs are never questioned. We never question our beliefs around alcohol, around addiction, around how we've been conditioned to see it. We just accept it and we wonder why it's so hard to stop drinking. But how you perceive alcohol is everything. If you perceive alcohol as something that adds value in your life, you will always feel trapped. Even if you stop drinking alcohol, it's just going to feel like I said before, that example of the day pass. You can escape the prison for a while, but you'll always feel this pull, and eventually it will get you back in. And it's why trying to stop drinking just using willpower is so difficult, because we never change our perception of the drug. We never address these belief systems. In fact, we don't even notice that they're there. We just stop drinking for the sake of stopping drinking. Now, the second reason why you feel trapped by alcohol is something that is going to be a bitter pill to swallow. See, when you drink alcohol and it keeps pulling you back, there's something else going on here. It's not just your perception of the drug. There's something working in tandem with this, but it's drug addiction. You're actually addicted to a drug. And you might be thinking, I don't take drugs. I'm not a drug addict. I've heard it before where I've spoke to people that have been drinking for 40 years and they say, but Leon, I don't take drugs. I've never taken a drug in my life, but I drink alcohol. And the thing is people don't see alcohol the same way that they see other drugs. Because it's a drink, and because you need to drink every day to stay alive and you've got to drink this drug, it doesn't feel like you're, putting a needle in your veins or smoking a crack pipe. But it's still a drug. It's the definition of a drug. Alcohol is a drug. When you drink a drug, when you take a drug, the nature of a drug is for you to want to take more. All drugs create feelings of withdrawal, wanting to redose, wanting to increase the dose. And when you combine these two things together, your perception of the drug and the fact that it is so damn addictive, listen, of course you're going to feel trapped, and of course you're going to feel like a prisoner. But these two things are fixable. easily. I've done it. I've shown hundreds of people how to do it in my Stop Drinking program, in the Sober Clear program, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now as well. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to get real with yourself. You need to stop lying to yourself. When you keep telling yourself that everything's okay, it's going to be fine, or you lie to yourself where you say, I'm just going to have one drink this time, it's going to be different, it all needs to stop. You need to get 100% real with yourself and admit that the drinking is an issue. Now, listen, in practice, this is so easy, but in reality, it actually becomes really difficult because you actually have to admit to yourself that you've been lying to yourself, telling you that the drinking's okay, but it ain't okay. It's an act that does nothing for anybody. It's an act that's stopping you from being the best that you can be. It's purely a selfish act. It's not helping you. It's not helping your family. It's doing nothing for anybody. And listen, when you've been doing that for 10, 20, 30 years, it's a painful thing to admit to yourself that you've been lying to yourself for so long. But I promise you, if you don't get real with yourself, what's your options here? What? You're just gonna keep doing this, keep lying to yourself till the day that you die? See, the moment that you stop lying to yourself and you're honest with yourself is the moment that you can start taking back control of the drinking. Because this leads me into the second part of the equation. Once you've got real with yourself and you've admitted to yourself that there is a serious problem that needs fixing, you need to put a level 10 effort into solving this problem. It's that simple. You've got to research. You've got to use first principles thinking, the mental model that I talk about on this channel that I use in my program, where you dissect the problem and you break it into its component parts and you study the individual component parts of the issue. This is how you change your belief, how you change your perception of the drug. But when I say you need to put a level 10 effort into solving this problem, it's rather than just saying, right, I'm going to stop drinking like you might have already tried to do in the past. This time you do it differently. This time you put in time, you put in energy, you put in resources, you put in finances. Do whatever it takes to get yourself into a state of mind where you see alcohol the same way that you see bleach. It requires no effort for you to not drink bleach. And I'm going to say something right now that might shock you, but that's how I feel with alcohol. It requires zero effort for me to not drink. I don't care if I'm in a bar filled with alcohol drinkers. I don't care if I've had the worst day of my life. I don't care. I don't see alcohol as a solution to any of my problems. I see no logical reason to drink, but I did the work. I put in the effort to get into this state of mind. But those few weeks that I spent changing my perception, changing my beliefs, have paid off for the past 6 years. Sure, there was time involved in doing all of this stuff, but the return on investment of time dwarfs everything. But that only works if you do stop lying to yourself, if you're honest with yourself first, and you admit that there is a problem there to fix. Because if you don't do that, then what's the point? Why are you even watching this video? No offense. Now listen. If you want help doing this, if you want help applying first principles thinking and getting into this state of mind, and you want to be held accountable and supported, and you want to be in a community of other people that are all doing this, then I have great news. I am accepting new clients in the Sober Clear program right now, and if you click the link in the description of this video, you can book a call and you and I can jump on a short call together. I'll explain the process that you can go through, the exact concrete steps, and if I actually think that you have what it takes and I think that I can help you, then I'll invite you to join the Sober Clear program where you and I will work together to fix this problem once and for all. Listen, you can do this on your own. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's just going to be way harder and take you way longer. Whereas I have a process that's going to make the whole thing way more fun, way more easy, and you'll just be way more likely to succeed because my program has a success rate of between 92 and 97%. So again, go ahead and click the link in the description right now. Everything's 100% confidential, so there's nothing to worry about there, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you soon. Have a great day.